Hacked documents from Emmanuel Macron's presidential campaign were posted online last night in a massive and coordinated attack after the frontrunner complained of Russian attempts to destabilize him. 9 gigabytes of data were posted by a user called EMLEAKS to Pastebin, a document-sharing site that allows anonymous posting. They included emails, accounting documents and contracts, all legal, from his political movement onwards, said that several of its leaders had their emails hacked last week, but the attackers bundled them with fake emails and delayed posting them for maximum effect. Macron's team said. The Onwards movement has been the victim of a massive and coordinated hack this evening, which has given rise to the diffusion on social media of various internal information. The files were obtained several weeks ago thanks to the hacking of personal and professional mailboxes of several leaders of the movement. Those who circulate these documents add a number of false documents to genuine documents in order to sow doubt and disinformation. The hackers' ambition is obviously to harm the movement. A few hours of the second round of the French presidential election. Obviously, the documents from piracy are all legal and reflect the normal operation of a presidential campaign. Their dissemination makes internal data public, but there is no concern about the legality and the conformity of the documents. It is not a mere piracy operation, but an attempt to destabilize the French presidential election. France's Election Campaign Commission will hold a meeting this morning to discuss the hacking attack. It urged French media not to publish the documents, warning that some of them were probably fake. Former Economy Minister Macron's team has previously complained about attempts to hack its emails during a fraud campaign, blaming Russian interests for the cyber attacks. President Vladimir Putin, previously accused of interfering in last year's U.S. polls, is said to favor anti-EU candidate Marine Le Pen, whose election would contribute to the further destabilization of the Union, something which he dreams about at night. On April 26, Macron's team said it had been the target of a series of attempts to steal email credentials since January, but that the perpetrators had so far failed to compromise any campaign data. In February, the Kremlin denied that it was behind any such attacks, even though Macron's camp renewed complaints against Russian media and a hackers group operating in Ukraine. It comes 2 days before voters go to the polls to choose the country's next president in a runoff with Marine Le Pen. While one poll puts Macron 60 points ahead, an IFA poll says he leads Le Pen 63% to 37%. 4 other surveys show Macron on 62 and Le Pen on 38. This margin is not as big as the one that center-right candidate Jacques Chirac beat Marine's father Jean-Marie Le Pen by in 2002, gaining 82.2% versus the 17.8% of Le Pen. Ms. Le Pen's National Front Party has, significantly, not even announced where their candidate will be after polls close on Sunday evening following the second and final round of voting. On the last day of campaigning yesterday, one of Mr. Macron's aides said, "The Louvre will be the venue for our election night party in case of victory. Crowds will gather on the esplanade by the glass pyramid at the center of the historic complex, which dates back to the 12th century and was once the home of French royalty." Mr. Macron's political movement had originally wanted to use the Champs de Mars in front of the Eiffel Tower, but this was turned down. The Champs is at the center of Paris's Olympic bid for 2024, and there were fears that thousands of people would destroy the grass lawns. In contrast, the area around the Louvre is cobbled or concreted and always full of people. The museum, which contains masterpieces including Leonardo da Vinci's Mona Lisa, is the biggest in the world and welcomes more than 7 million visitors a year. Previous new presidents have chosen more modest venues, such as restaurants or campaign headquarters. Mr. Macron and Ms. Le Pen have been involved in an increasingly bitter contest, accusing each other of being unfit to live up to the grandeur of the French presidency. Paris prosecutors have just opened an investigation into suggestions by Ms. Le Pen that her rival, a former merchant banker, has a hidden offshore bank account in the Bahamas. Mr. Macron has lodged a legal complaint about the spreading of false information, while openly accusing Ms. Le Pen of running a deceitful and divisive campaign. Such claims have been widely supported by the French media, with Le Monde running a front-page story on Thursday accusing Ms. Le Pen of being a serial liar. There will be no campaigning at all on Saturday, before the polls open on Sunday morning.